If you have worked around public works for any length of time, you know that valve maintenance tends to get little attention except after a main break, and it's near impossible to control the leak, especially with news crew cameras focused on your every move. Most agencies have a wide variety of water main valves, and depending upon the size of the agency, the number can reach into the thousands. Valve professionals exercise and maintain this important equipment on a regular basis to make sure they remain in working condition, for without your knowledge of the water system and valves, the reliability of the water system could be called into question. According to AWWA, every valve should be operated through a full cycle on a schedule designed to prevent a buildup of tuberculation or deposits that could cause the valve to be ineffective or inoperable, or may result in a part of the water system that does not get flushed regularly. In order to keep the water system operating properly, we are charged with the task of making sure valves will open and close when required and are able to isolate portions of the water system, in addition to ensuring water quality and adequate fire flows. Properly operating valves also are important as it relates to homeland security, for if someone were to compromise the water system, the ability to quickly control and isolate the flow of water could be hampered. The major stumbling block for some water utilities seems to be the misconception that a valve maintenance program is a major undertaking. This is not accurate. Organizations that take advantage of a good valve maintenance program soon realize the benefits, as shutdowns are much easier and take far fewer valves to be turned off to achieve the desired result. The bottom line is, the public depends upon our professionalism to ensure that their water system is properly maintained and operational. Technology has replaced the reliance on employee memory, as belts and old maps may not be current. GPS and computerized information systems are able to accurately pinpoint valves and other components, making your job easier. Those unfamiliar with the ins and outs of a valve maintenance crew may not be aware of the personal risk you may face. The job may seem simple enough, but it is quite possible for crew members to be injured or even killed while working. Be sure that careful coordination and communication takes place to ensure that exercising a valve does not cause a problem further down within the water system. There may be employees working on a portion of the water system where they may not be readily visible. Accidentally opening a valve on a crew working in a trench can drown the workers in an instant. In some cases, a lockout or tagout system may be required to prevent accidental operation of a valve. The biggest risk to a valve crew generally lies with the traffic that you contend with day in and day out. It is critical for members of a valve crew to be fully trained and competent in the type of traffic control that they will be using. Often, this is comprised of enough traffic control devices to warn drivers that the crew is present. In most cases, elaborate traffic control setups may not be necessary, but be sure to follow your state's requirements regarding traffic control for short-term jobs, or expand the traffic control for enhanced safety. At a minimum, all workers should be wearing high-visibility vests or clothing. Hard hats are generally an organizational decision, as there may or may not be a head hazard present. Eye protection is usually necessary to protect against any debris that may get lodged in the eye. If using equipment that produces high noise levels, appropriate hearing protection would be required. There is always a risk of back injury due to the nature of bending, pulling, and pushing on gate keys or equipment, so taking extra care to protect your back is important. Sturdy safety shoes are a must to protect against a gate key or valve cap falling on your foot. When first arriving on the job, take a few minutes to discuss how the task will be approached and how the highest degree of safety will be achieved. Each team member should know what is expected of them. Take into consideration the location of the valves, as well as traffic flow. Use your overhead warning lights to alert motorists of your presence. If your truck is equipped with an arrow board, be sure to use it to direct traffic away from your position. If possible, position a truck to provide your crew with the best physical protection from traffic in the event a driver enters the work area. Be sure to set up any temporary short-term traffic control as required. If the job will take longer than expected, consider setting up a full traffic control pattern. Yes, we know it may seem like a hassle, but it can save your life. Gate well caps are often overlaid with asphalt or road grit and may be difficult to remove. If you must use hand tools such as hammers, chisels, and bars, be sure to protect your eyes from flying chips and stones. It may be necessary to use a vacuum system to clean out debris from the casing. If this is the case, be sure you have been trained and authorized for its use. By the way, be advised that many years ago, some organizations used rings made of asbestos cement pipe in order to raise the gate well for pavement overlays. Never cut, break, chip, abrade, or disturb the asbestos-containing materials to avoid potential exposure to asbestos fibers. If asbestos might be present, immediately contact your supervisor for instruction on how to proceed, as you must be specifically trained and authorized to work with asbestos-containing materials. Once you have located the gate well and have removed the cap, insert the gate key and proceed to exercise the valve. This is usually done manually or by the use of mechanized valve exercising equipment. A knowledgeable crew will know the maximum torque required and how many turns or cycles are necessary in order to exercise the valve. When done, be sure to secure the equipment for road travel. If the manual method is required, be careful to ensure that the gate key is securely connected to the valve nut to prevent slips. Don't be in a big hurry and never force a valve. If using mechanical equipment, be sure to read and follow the manufacturer's instructions and use the lowest torque setting possible. Begin to carefully turn the valve. Again, this means slowly and carefully. Many a worker has ended up on the pavement with an injury when the key suddenly slipped off the nut or the spindle breaks. Be sure that you maintain a stable position to reduce the risk of falling in the event of a slip. It is likely that your partner may need to help ensure steady pressure in the nut. Some operators use digging bars and other cheaters in order to gain a mechanical advantage. Be aware that using a cheater may enhance the chance of damage to the valve stem or injury to you. We know that sometimes a cheater is necessary, so use extra care in order to do so safely. Mechanizing the process of valve exercising significantly increases the efficiency of the job. Be sure to inspect the equipment prior to use to ensure proper operation. If using mechanical equipment, be sure you have been fully trained and authorized to use the equipment. An untrained person can be seriously injured or cause damage to the valve or water system. When finished with exercising the valve, be sure to secure the equipment prior to driving. Here are a few tips for performing valve maintenance. When the valve operates freely, turn it slowly to avoid water hammer. If you were to open or close a valve too fast, the line could rupture. After exercising the valve, be sure to run the valve back to the wide open position at the top of the bonnet and then back about 2 turns to the full open position. However, be sure to check with the manufacturer's recommendation for the type of valves your organization uses. Always communicate. This organization believes in a high level of communication in order to make the job go smoother and safely. As you can see, they are professionals. There is a lot to maintaining the valves of your water system, and yes, there are potential dangers. However, you are a professional, and if you follow the safety rules and procedures established by your organization, it is likely you will have a long accident-free career. If you have any questions, be sure to ask your supervisor. Thank you.